All right, good morning. We're gonna go ahead and get started. My name is Leah Smith. I teach in the ag department.
And I'm Stan Beach. I'm math and computer science instructor here at PMCC. Yeah.
First thing we need is for you guys to log on to Canvas, okay? So either with your phone or a computer, if you would do that, if you haven't done it before, your email is first.lastname@my.lusiski.edu. If you've already logged in, you probably changed your password, so you'll know that. If you have not logged into Canvas yet, please do so, and it should prompt you to change your password. So if you can take care of that.
We already have a couple people in already, so that's awesome. So. And once you're in, if you just put thumbs up or hands, say, yeah, I got in, no problem. If you're struggling at all, we can help out a little bit here. We're also going to put up a QR code in just a few minutes. You can go in as a public entity as opposed to your individual account, but we'd rather you be in your individual account. So. And feel free to help each other out if you need to. You know, if you're struggling, don't be afraid to look to your left or look to your right. Say, hey, how do you do this? It's okay.
So when you log into Canvas, you should see a shell that says welcome to the pack. Please click on that. So while your other shells are not currently open, this one is. You've already been pre-registered for it. So you can play around in this as we go through our little presentation. It's not going to hurt anything. There's no actual grade or class work tied to this. It is just an opportunity for you to engage with us today so that you can work through it in case you have any questions.
How many people in here are logged into it currently? I just want to see what the percentage. Okay, we're about 67%. That's good.
If you cannot get into it, Stan is going to throw up a QR code. If for some reason it's telling you that your account is not available, you need to go to IT today. In a while, we'll put up a resource for that. But
if you're already logged in, don't use the QR code. Okay, you're fine. If you are not logged in, this will get you through in it, and so you can see at least see the class.
It's not going to log you in by your name. The QR code is just going to be a general public login. But again, this is just for incorporation.
I think we can have you up here teaching the guys exactly. We're going to go through all that.
I mean, I use Click cell phone.
Oh.
I already had to download it. I just said log out.
Are you using the app?
Yeah.
Okay. There's some issues with that. We'll talk about that a little bit.
So what our goal is this morning is just to make sure you understand what Canvas is. It's a platform that all the instructors use to communicate with you and the college for that matter, from announcements to your coursework to what is happening, all those pieces. Canvas is a platform that you are expected to use. It's not an option. This is how we provide your education to you. So while Canvas looks a little bit different for every instructor in terms of how they incorporate it into their classes, the functionality of it is the same across the board. And so we're going to hit up a few of those pieces today, try to give you an opportunity to play with it. Canvas shells will not be available to you until 5 o'clock Sunday night if the instructor has published the course. So this at least is an opportunity for you to get to play with it, and it will be open to you. So first thing, this is what it looks like. Obviously, this is a custom homepage. This is just what my homepage looks like, essentially in terms of the formatting for my courses. I use Canvas a lot. I have an instructor in my department who hardly uses Canvas at all. So it's going to be different, but you have to be aware of how that instructor is going to use Canvas in that course for you to be successful. We expect you to use it. I expect you to check it 2 or 3 times a day. And if you don't, that's on you. So please understand that it is your responsibility to use it. And as Stan was just implying, you can either go through the web or you can download the app. The app may look a little bit different, but whatever works is fine. So this homepage, on the left-hand side of the screen is the menu or the taskbar. Some instructors may have a lot of words there that you can access, and then some instructors may have less because we have the ability to make those available or not available. But one thing that everybody's going to have is the access to the syllabus. Okay, so that's the second link at the top. The syllabus should look fairly similar throughout every instructor that you have. In terms of formatting, it may look a little different, but again, for me, it has my contact information, where the course is located, what time the course starts, the description, objectives. And then what you should see on every syllabi is Canvas information, grading policies, AI policies, academic honesty, disabilities information, etc. The syllabus is very important for you to follow. You may get a paper copy, you may not. I don't give paper copies, but some instructors do, so you may see that as well.
The syllabus is the roadmap, the rules for the class. Okay, if you think the rules are ever important in life, whether it's laws, whether it's the driver's handbook for before you drive, whether you think it's a game that you're playing, if you think rules are important, whether you do or not, this is the rules for the class. So this is very important. That's why it's the second thing up on that list, because right after the homepage, that's where you should be going to get your information about the class. So please read that over carefully. You don't know how many students don't, and they miss out on a lot of things in the class because they don't realize, oh, there's extra credit. Oh, there was this, oh, there was that, because they didn't read the syllabus. So make sure you read it for all your classes.
The next link down is announcements. It is a way that a teacher will communicate with you. They could send you an all-class email, but announcements are pretty commonly used. It may be something as simple as classes canceled or classes moved to this location. You need to bring this tool. You need to wear this attire. If you don't have your announcements available to you on Canvas, and we'll talk about setting up notifications, if you don't have that done, then you don't know. And then at that point, it's on you, it's not on your instructor. So announcements are an important thing. You don't necessarily have to click on them and look at them every day. They should, if you have your notifications turned on, they should pop up and be available for you. Continuing to go down the list there, you'll be able to check your grades. Modules is really important. Modules is how I communicate all of my content for that course. So the way I have it set up, I have my resources. And then if there is an assignment, a discussion, a quiz that I need you to access, this is where you will find it. Now, some instructors may put those modules as the first thing you see when you open up your shell. That's not the way mine is set up, but it may be, and Stan's going to show you that momentarily. Going down the left-hand side, there's all sorts of things, the assignments, pages, discussions, quizzes, whatever your instructor wants you to have access to, those will all hyperlink to a page to show that for you. So now Stan's going to show you, and this is where you kind of get to be interactive if you'd like to on your phone. You can click on all of these. There's nothing tied to a grade. There's nothing you can't screw anything up, but it gives you a chance you can see it. So when you go in and actually do it in one of your courses, you'll know how it works.
And I found out from the last group, you are not required to submit anything. Okay, so I know the students ask, hey, do I have to submit things? Do I have to submit the discussion? No, you don't. Okay, but if you'd like to, you're more than welcome to. As Leah already said, there's the resources. That kind of is how most instructors set up their modules, because that is the resources, the links, the text, whatever it might be for your individual module for that week, for instance. Below that, there's the discussion. And oftentimes you're going to see two different ways on discussions. One is where everything is listed. Otherwise, it will list this where you must post before seeing replies. So it looks like no one else has replied. You don't know how many people have replied until you actually reply. So it's kind of what makes everyone in the same boat in terms of stress of being the first person to reply. Under your assignments, the question I get a lot from students is, okay, I did my assignment. Now how do I submit it? Can anyone notice anything on here that, any ideas on where to submit it? Submit assignment. And by the way, if it's not there, look up, look around, but it's there. Okay, it'll say submit assignment. So don't, I'm telling you, most instructors are going to say, well, you don't want to submit an assignment. Look, it's a big blue button. Okay, so you might get away with it one time, but after that, I'd recommend making sure that you do find that submit button. In terms of your course homepage, we already looked at these a little bit. This is our custom homepage. You might notice this is just like how Leah set up the homepage on this course, but there's also there's 5 different ways instructors can set up their homepage. The 3 most common are right here. First of all, there's the custom homepage. That's how I usually set up my classes. There's the modules homepage, which a lot of the math department likes because it's just, they straight from your modules, just listing all your modules. And then below that, I also have the syllabus homepage, and it's listed as the homepage because for some instructors, they want to make sure you see it front and center day one. So you're going to notice your courses might have that set up that way. So don't be surprised if your courses from different instructors have things set up differently, but if you look at the left menus, they're all the same way. All the menus are exactly the same. It's just how the front page looks. Finally, down here, there's week 1 quiz. I recommend you check that out because you never know. There's some questions in there. Maybe you can answer some, maybe you can't. And we have about 50% of students filling out that quiz so far. It's just going to ask you random questions. Does it count for any grade? No. Do you earn any points for it? No. But you might want to check it out so you can see what a quiz looks like, especially if you have not used Canvas before. Some of you I know have.
So it's a good recommendation. If you haven't used Canvas or a little leery about it, if at some point in the weekend you go through and you do the discussion, the assignment, the quiz, you just open it up just to see what it looks like. It'll just make you a little bit more familiar.
All right. Do you want to go to?
Yeah, so I was talking about the announcements. How do you know if your instructor has said, hey, you need to wear boots or you need to bring rain gear or whatever it might be to class? If your notifications are not set up, you won't get that announcement. So it's really simple. So when you go to your homepage, you should have a picture of yourself. If you haven't, put a avatar picture in there. So you click on your account name and it pulls up another menu. Go to settings. So first thing I would do is put in another means of being a way of being notified. So on the right-hand side of the screen, it says ways to contact. The only way the college currently has is to send you an email to Canvas. I find a lot of my students don't do a great job of checking Canvas email. They check Canvas, but they don't check their Canvas email. If you go over and add an email address, if you have a Gmail, if you have an iCloud, if you have whatever other type of email you have, you just add that in there. Now it's going to go to that email as well. So you're just kind of double covering your bases so that you can get as many notification possibilities brought to you. So that's a real simple thing to do. Just go up to your account, go to settings, and then on the right hand side, you used to be able to add a text message. Do you know why that's not there?
I don't know. I know it used to be there.
If by chance you ever figure that out, that's also great to get a text because that really is useful. So anyhow, the other thing I would do is in the same page is notifications, right? So this is super important. I send something out and a student will say like, I didn't get that. I'm like, I sent it and their neighbor will be like, I got it. How did you get it and I didn't get it? It's because you don't have your notifications turned on. So again, went to account and then this pops up. It's the first link at the top. On the right-hand side, you can see all of my ways that I get notified. So it goes to my Canvas email. It also goes to my personal email. And then I have push options on there as well. On the left-hand side here, it has like due date, grading policies, course content. What do you want to be notified about? You get to make those choices. So you can click on the little icons. You can see like the calendar. You can see the bells. If it's a green bell, it means I want to be notified immediately. If you're like, I do not want to know every time my teacher or instructor puts in an assignment, then turn it to the white or the clear, and then you won't be notified. If you want to know every time something gets graded, then you put on the little green bell, or you can put a calendar date on it as well. So you can go through all of these content areas of files, grading, invitations, submissions, late grading, etc., and you can choose what you want to be notified about. But if you don't go in there and do that, then you won't get the notifications. Right? There will be an announcement on Canvas, and if you log into Canvas, you'll see it. But if you don't make an effort to go look at it, then you won't get notified. So I really encourage you, go to your account, go to notifications, and choose what you want to be notified when you want to be notified.
All right. There'll be also with custom homepage, I'll have other links in there, Zoom office, syllabus, welcome. Make sure you check things out. You're not going to hurt anything. And by the way, on this is a demo course. Feel free to click and check out whatever you want to check out on it. What else are we missing here?
We started a few minutes early. So,
okay.
If you look at like the dashboard or your courses, will it show other courses so they can see what that looks like? No.
It's a good deal. I can let them use it.
You'll see, so like at the top, that's where there's a bunch of announcements from the school. All right, so what's going on? Those are all my classes that I'm teaching right there. You should have all of your shells. on there as well. But again, you won't see those until 5 o'clock on Sunday evening if they are published. On the right-hand side, you have that coming up to-do list. I mean, I even have it there too, of like what's coming up, what do I have assigned to my students? What should I expect to be turned in? Utilize that.
If your course does not show up on Sunday night, please don't freak out. What happens is, for instance, myself, I'm rewriting a couple courses. I'm not gonna get them done probably till Sunday, and I want to proof them over Sunday night before I actually make them available to students on Monday morning. So do understand that everything should be there Monday. If they're not, that's when you can contact your instructor and say, hey, what's going on? It's not there. And they might say, well, class doesn't start till Tuesday, so I thought I was gonna put it up till Tuesday. At least you have the information. Generally speaking, every class will be available Monday morning. And some people who have things set up ahead of time, it'll be available Sunday night. About half my classes I have set to open on Sunday night.
You guys have any questions about Canvas, about any of the buttons, the links, how you submit, how you communicate? Yeah, so go up to, you would have your picture, like little account button, and go to settings.
Did you use a QR code or did you have to log into Canvas? You see your picture or see,
I want,
oh, you're logged in?
I just think she just wants to review it.
Okay.
So click on settings. And then it'll be on the right-hand side, you can add an email. Like I said, it says other contacts as well, but I think it still just lets you do email, so that's pretty much your only option.
You used to have a text.
Yeah. I don't think so. I did answer the. I did answer the question. You know, there's an email button over here.
Oh, sorry.
My email is like tied to my personal, I don't know how to say this, tied to my phone. So I don't necessarily have to go to Canvas to get the email, but if you want to email a teacher directly in a course, you can go to the email button. You didn't talk about the calendar.
Calendar, that's, I knew I was missing something. Over here, you notice the calendar. And when you click on that, it will, you think show all your assignments for all your classes, and that's great. There's some things you need to be aware of. First of all, the app and the website look different, and they act differently. Some things are not accessible on the app that you can get on the website. So don't think that you'll have everything on the app, because I have students occasionally say, hey, I couldn't see that. Well, that was because they were using the app, and everything for every class is designed on the web. The calendar doesn't show things like if you have an assignment that doesn't have a set due date, but the instructor says, hey, make sure you get this submitted sometime this term, and they didn't put in a due date, it's not going to show up in the calendar. All the pages with information and links and everything else for your resources, those don't show up on the calendar. So if you have important resources that you need for an assignment, it's not going to show up on the calendar. There's a lot of things that don't show up on the calendar, but I have students that just rely on the calendar, do everything on the calendar, and then say, well, I didn't get this done, and I didn't get that done, I didn't know how to do this, That's because they didn't look at the rest of the module. Please look at all your modules, look at your course homepage, check things out in Canvas. Don't just rely on the calendar. Second of all, underneath the calendar, there is the inbox. And because most of us instructors have our notifications for it to go to our Outlook, what happens is if a student sends me an email and they use the inbox, I get it and it sends it, I know which class it is, and it puts it to the top of my Outlook email. So I immediately can then start replying to those students. If instead you send me from your personal email, first of all, it might get sent in the spam folder. Second of all, it's one of these things where I'll look at it eventually. So use that inbox over there. And also, one of the options is to message your instructor. That's a great way, because the instructor gets to see immediately which class you're from and everything. And it's a good way to communicate. So don't be afraid to use this inbox, but it's important to have your notifications set up right. So then if you want it sent to your personal email, it can be sent.
Other than that, that's pretty much our spiel. We're more than happy to answer any questions. A lot of times your instructors are gonna hit up Canvas with you probably a little bit on the first day, just to make sure that you know how they want you to use it to benefit you in their class. But do you have any further questions? My recommendation is that you do go through this shell at least once this weekend, that you look to see if your shells for your classes are open Sunday evening. And my best piece of advice is don't be late on Monday. Do not be late to class. Nobody likes that. Okay.
If you have any further questions, Leah's information is right there. My information is right below that. We have Ashley, who's in charge of our Canvas LMS, her information right there. And of course, IT department, if you're having any login questions.
Have a great day.